the night, bump in the night. Did you hear a bump in the night? Bump in the night, bump in the night. Bump in the night, bump in the night. Did you hear a bump in the night? Bump in the night, bump in the night.
Welcome to Bump in the Night Society presents Exploring Your Society. I'm your host, Sean Bowman.
And I am Phil K.
Tonight we have the Haunted Housewives, Tish and Lily. Say what's up, guys.
Hey,
Hi.
what's up? Happy spooky season.
Yeah, finally.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm trying to, like on Facebook, it's not showing up. There it is. Okay. I'm making sure everything's going right over here. So what have you been up to?
Hey, Ron.
Doing all the tech.
What have you been up to?
Going
It
to
has
haunted
been,
houses.
yeah, it's been 4 solid
This
weeks.
is all
of
we do now.
Haunted houses. Everything else is on hold.
Yeah.
People ask us to do other stuff, including, making breakfast, going to work. We're like,
Yeah. Inviting us to stuff. Yeah, we're
Haunt
busy.
season.
Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what's some of the haunts you've been to so far this year?
oh my gosh, we've been all around the Pittsburgh area and
the 100 Acres and Scare House and
Fright Farm,
Demon House.
Crawford School.
100 Acres. Nope, I said that. Haunted Hills.
Maybe you went
You know
twice.
what? This is something that we talk about is like they're all haunted, demon, hell. We went to Fright Farm in Fearfield the same night, and all night we were like,
Fright, fear.
yeah, something.
Lots of F words that night.
Anything stand out? Like, what's your favorite haunt so far this year, you think?
Oh, that's hard to say. I mean,
Yeah.
part of it is like we go back to places that we've been to and we love. Places like
Mhm.
Crawford School that always amp it up just a little bit every year. They tweak things. They adjust the scares. We had a great time there.
Scare House changed things up a lot.
I heard. I actually
Yeah.
did hear that. I really
Yeah, they're a lot closer to you now, and
did.
it's just
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
I think because they opened during COVID, they had to do things a certain way, and now they're kind of going back to how they used to do things, but more.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
They definitely adjusted the path through the house so you feel like everything, the animatronics and the props and the actors are all just coming at you.
Mhm.
nice.
So that was very good. Really good interactions in 100 Acres this year.
Yeah,
Like some very good actors who followed us and talked to us and
Fright Farm
engaged
too.
us. Yeah, Fright Farm too.
yeah.
Uh,
They
I've
did
been to
something a
Rich's
little
so
bit
far, yeah.
different.
I haven't been
Yeah.
to the other ones yet.
Yeah. There's been some good stuff, and then we see. I told you my dog was going to make an appearance.
Hello.
Trying to scare
This
you.
is Willow.
Just want to grab the face.
Hello.
Yeah.
I know.
Love it.
Hi, buddy.
Oh,
We went to
camera.
Face Your Fears Hotel of Terror, and that was new. That was an old new. They have a touch pass.
Where's that?
Definitely recommend.
That's out in Springfield, Ohio, near Dayton. We did.
Okay.
We do a few road trips a year, and this year, a friend of ours said, "You need to check this place out." They invited us to come out and see, and Face Your Fears is just they were hitting on all cylinders
Yeah,
because
It was
it's
so good.
it's gorgeous, it's interactive.
The building is so cool looking.
That's
Mhm.
awesome.
Yeah.
like
How
this-
far is that from Pittsburgh?
4 hours.
4 hours.
Mhm.
Everything's 4 hours.
Yeah, I know. Every time we look up something, 4 hours.
That's sad. God.
I know.
Oh man.
What's the furthest you ever went for one?
I guess for now it's 4.5, right?
4.5.
Terror Town.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, we're slowly adjusting those boundaries, because we were talking about this when we first started doing this. We would look at where places were, and they'd be, an hour away. An hour.
we're like,
do,
oh,
do you
it's
think we
kinda
can
far.
do that? That's
My
a
wife
long
bitches
drive.
about like an hour all the time. That's nothing.
Now we're like, oh, it's 4 hours.
4 hours.
We could do that.
We could do 4
Yeah.
hours.
Right,
But we do have to stay somewhere. Like we don't drive out. The furthest we've driven out, gone to haunts and driven home is 3 hours.
Okay, that's not
Okay.
too
Which we
bad.
just did.
And we
Yeah.
usually do two. We try to do two in the, that
Right.
it's a long night, but
Yeah.
but
Oh,
we'll do
man.
it. Yeah. We're going to Michigan in 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So
Oh, I
that
didn't know
will
there was one up in
be
Michigan.
There's
Yeah,
a lot in
there's-
Michigan.
there's
What's
a
Detroit
lot.
before?
Erebus.
The state,
Yeah,
Phil.
yeah.
The whole state is haunted. It's just creepy.
I actually had no idea. The only time I go up to Michigan is to visit my cousins. I never knew there
Yeah.
was that much in Haunted
Yeah.
House.
There's one called Hush, and they have like hidden bars now. And so like you have to interact with the actors in the haunt, and somebody will give you a coin, and that gets you into a bar in the haunt.
Oh,
That's really
So we're excited.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I don't know. If
We're,
you can also buy tickets to that. We might end up doing that.
Yeah.
because if we can get lost in a haunt, we will. Because we've established we can get lost going from one side of a room to another.
Right.
The 10 by 10 room.
Yeah,
we're
depending on what's in it.
Yep.
Remember, Wells used to have this switchback maze, and it wasn't big. It was very short, but it was very narrow, and there were hands touching you because Wells
Yeah.
Township does the touch. And yeah, we got stuck. Our guide always had to come get us.
Pull us
They would
by the
grab your
hand.
hand and pull you out.
That's hilarious.
This is
I love
Sage
it.
actually talking here about the bar. I know Factory Terra has like 3 bars in there now because when I was there the other day,
Yeah.
they built a
Yeah.
couple more.
I heard that. We just went to the one. I want to say that there was 2 when we were there last, but we couldn't find the one.
Yeah, I think
But it
there
was like outside or something.
Yeah, there
We
was
didn't-
one at the axe throwing venue outside that we didn't go to, but we
Okay.
went to the one that was right off. I think it was Lafayette 13, which was
Yeah.
their kind of New Orleans bayou style
Yeah.
haunt. It's really smart and it's really fun because
Mhm.
you get
Sucks for an actor though. I know with dealing with the drunks, like that was always one of the things I didn't like.
Yeah, I can imagine.
yeah.
We had a lot of drunks last year, Sean. That
Between that and then people puking sometimes, like that's
Oh.
not
that did
a
happen.
good thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
I think
Yeah,
some of the
it is
XP
such a buzzkill. Like, yeah, we've gone through haunts with drunk people before just because we were paired up with them,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
and it kind of messes up the whole experience.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Mhm.
I think they should, they should give sobriety tests at all these haunted houses. Honestly,
I mean, if you're drunk and you could act normal, maybe
Yeah,
it's okay. But
exactly,
like,
But if you're
You're yelling at
walking
people
through
or-
the haunt yelling at your friend who's somewhere in the haunt and you know they're there. No.
yeah.
Someone just told me to stop clearing my throat.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who that is. It's not showing up on my thing over here. I always tell Phil to mute his mic because
you're-
he always does that shit.
Okay.
Between that and sniffing.
I
He's
get
like, I'm gonna
seasonal
do it more
allergies.
now.
I get allergies all the time. I think I'm like the allergy guy of the whole group. So it's
That's
Jen. Mikey's the stomach guy. I'm the allergy guy, and all of us are just
So there's something.
Yeah.
Everybody has a thing.
Right. I mean, for us, it's the noises that we make inside the haunt because she will scream and she'll woo.
Oh yeah, I do the woo woo for no reason.
You Ric
Like
Flair over here.
somebody, yes. Oh my god. Now I'm gonna think of that every time I
Do
do.
you do like the hand chop too?
That's so funny.
Oh, please
my
do.
God.
Please.
She made a whole new sound at Mohican, and it was just a random person came out. I don't even know what it was. Like yaka. It was a whole new sound.
Mikey just said no sniffing, coughing, or yawning. Oh, I'm gonna make sure I don't take any loratadine that day. I'm gonna ruin your whole day, dude.
I'm just gonna give Phil sleeping pills.
So
Yeah, right.
Phil's oppositional.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I'm gonna come in with like a hazmat suit. I should totally do that.
So do you do any of the like real haunts, like like we do ghost stuff? Like you guys do any of that type of stuff too?
We one time we went to Moundsville with
Okay.
the 2 of us and her daughter went on the I think it was
We did
the
it a
the
couple
North
times.
Wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, the North
Yeah.
Walk, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we did the tour there, and that is just it's so creepy. It's so
Mhm.
creepy
You
because
could
you
like
can just
feel the
you can feel
Mm.
that this is a bad place where bad things happen to bad people. It's in the stones in that building.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, I don't know if I mentioned this last time you guys were on, but when I was there, we went on Halloween a few years ago, and Red's the guy that like murdered these people. He's like really known there. We were with one of Red's relatives, supposedly, like on the tour. So that's kind of.
So my daughter went into his cell when they were doing the whole thing, and then she said she felt someone like touch her arm, and they said he had a daughter around her age. She was like a teenager at the time, and they said like it was like a protective feeling.
Okay.
And my daughter.
Well, I know when we were there, like it was definitely more interactive with women than he was with men. Like I know Phil was in there. You were in there privately. I don't think anything happened to you. And I know like Jen and Vicky and all of them were in there earlier in the night. Stuff was going on. Yeah, so I guess he likes women more.
Yeah. Yeah. I was getting tired in the one location. I was sitting all by myself. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Oh my
gosh. I don't know that I could do that.
Have you been to Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum?
We've been to the haunt there.
Okay, you didn't do the ghost thing?
No. My husband took my daughter there for some sort of father-daughter bonding experience. And she still tells her friends, this is my family's idea of fun. This is what we did.
Was it their Father's Day weekend thing?
Yeah. My dad and I got into the car and we drove for like 3 hours and went to a haunted insane asylum. Yeah, that's what my family does.
That's amazing. That's so amazing.
Yeah, we were just there for Hearst Mania.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that looks so
ago.
cool.
Yeah.
One of the best places I've ever been to in my entire life. That was incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was the first time you've been there, right, Phil?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and the haunted house they have there, Madhouse, was phenomenal.
It's bigger than it was, and there's actually an outside part too now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did the zombie paintball too. They had that.
Nice.
That was actually fun. That was actually pretty cool.
Are you mentally thinking of our calendar too?
Yes,
we have it on our calendar. We actually do that in Maniac Mountain because they're not far from each other.
Yeah. I've never been to that one.
It's really good.
That one is nuts. That one is.
It's like Buckhannon, West Virginia, or something, right?
Yeah. Okay. It's clearly, they've decided we're going to do this sort of rough edge redneck haunt out on the mountain, and I mean they're crazy and it's fun. We were in the corn maze, and
I just remember,
and you know where the story is going. We could see the exit, and I think if you've read any of our reviews, we've established she has chainsaw issues. If she thinks there's a chainsaw somewhere ahead of her, she'll stop, possibly turn around and go back the direction we came from. And we were walking towards the exit, and we could see a figure kind of silhouetted in the fog between the corn stalks. And we started walking toward him, and all of a sudden he pulled out a chainsaw. She went running back into the corn.
He said something first.
He
really
did.
Funny.
He did. He was standing there clutching his stomach, and he said, "Y'all scared the shit out of me."
Yes. So for a moment, I let down my guard because I did. I thought maybe it was somebody else, and then he pulled out the chainsaw.
She headed back into the corn. I headed for the exit.
I wasn't even a trail. I ran into the corn.
You ran through the corn. You literally ran through the corn. He started after her, then yelled, change of plans, came after me. I went sprinting for the exit. She was just in there because she wasn't going to walk out past the chainsaw. She wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, that happens.
And I was sitting there with some nice older lady who was selling chili, waiting to see how this all played
Eventually,
out.
you'll go after somebody else.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Terror by the Lake? It used to be in North Park. Like
that was the first haunted house I've ever been to, actually.
Because they used to actually have a chainsaw maze where there was like multiple chainsaws in the maze. Yeah.
I have trouble with that. Yeah. Erie Acres did that one year, and I ran from him so many times that he finally pointed the way out with his chainsaw because we weren't getting out of there. I just keep 100 Acres had a clown with a chainsaw. And she's standing there talking to him. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I ran off.
It's a clown with a chainsaw. real paranormal experiences at a haunt.
That was Mikey, I think.
I saw.
I'll put it back up.
You know what? We've been in places where it has felt.
She's like, yep, her.
She has a story. Yeah.
Which story are we going for? Are we going for the
I know your story.
well, I don't know if we've had an experience while we're at a haunt, though.
No.
I don't know
No.
that.
We've
And-
been to many haunts in haunted place, like they're haunted and they're haunts, but nothing actually happened in there. Even when we did the walks.
Mhm.
Well,
And
hear of it.
a number of these places are they're supposed to be haunted, like Demon House. If you talk to the owners there,
Yeah, we're supposed to do something after
Yeah.
November, I think, because
Yeah.
I talked to them already, and they said they have
Yeah.
to wait till after November.
We always say after the haunt season we're gonna do there. Where Castle Blood has them. You know, a couple of different places have them, and then I don't know what happens. We don't.
you know, a few years ago, I mean, we went up to my husband and I went up to the Conneaut Lake Hotel, and we stayed in one of the rooms that was supposed to be haunted there. And as we're walking down the hallway to our room, my husband's a chef, and he stopped in the middle of the hall and he said, "Something smells like rotten meat." And I wasn't really perceiving it, but he's like, "No, there's something wrong here. There's something spoiled." Turns out that one of the stories at Conneaut Lake is about a chef who killed one of his assistants and apparently shoved them in.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we've stayed there before too. We stayed in the honeymoon suite, and
Oh.
me, my wife, and my daughter, and we only got really two things that really happened. One thing was like we had a REM pod, you know, the REM pod with the lights and the antenna and stuff like that.
Mhm.
We just left that up all night at like 5 a.m. It started going crazy. It could have been the battery dying, but it started going nuts. But the other
Oh.
thing that actually was really cool is my daughter, she's 18 now, but she was probably like 14 at the time, I'd say. She was talking to the kid spirit, and the kid spirit's name's Angelina. The reason I remember this is because my stepdaughter's name's Angelina.
Oh, wow.
And as she's talking to her, like playing it back on the recorder, you could hear a little girl laughing. So that was kind of
Wow.
Ooh.
That's
Wow.
crazy, man.
Somebody mentioned Castle Blood. We guest acted there last Halloween,
cool. Oh,
and
nice.
I was in the library, and right outside the library, like there's this hallway, and it's supposed to be where there's a lot of activity, and they have an animatronic there that is motion sensor, and she kept going off, at random times by herself. That was spooky.
Yeah, it was an old funeral home, Castle Blood was.
Yeah, it was.
Mhm.
And apparently the place where the bodies were prepared is the gift shop.
Oh, really?
So if you're going out through the gift shop and checking out the funny t-shirts and the cool art, that's where the real Undertaker work went on. But yeah, it's a very atmospheric place.
Yes.
Yeah, I think actually I saw you guys at Castle Blood. Like I think it was for St. Patrick's Day or something, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing you and going, I know that guy.
I know.
I know him.
It's one of those things. I've seen him somewhere.
Sean sticks out like a sore thumb.
Recognizable. He's
Yeah,
recognizable.
right.
So what do you guys have upcoming?
Well, this weekend we are.
It's her birthday weekend.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. Happy birthday.
really?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Be 25.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kiss ass.
Again, we're wrapping around there. But yeah, I feel like I'm going to have a big target on my back this weekend.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it'll be fun. We're hitting Castle Blood, Scary Harry's, I think,
Okay.
Okay.
up
Yep.
in Indiana. Really fun trail. And Wells Township.
Mhm.
And
West Alexander.
West Alexander Scare at the Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I think
It's a local day before the following weekend when we go to Michigan, and I think we're gonna do Erebus, Exit 13, Hush.
Hush and Eloise Asylum.
I'll ask my cousin.
Erebus has a lot of cool like gimmicks and stuff because I've been to Erebus before.
Okay.
I've never managed to make it there. I lived in Michigan for years, and there was a night where my husband and his cousin's wife and we were all supposed to go there, and we drove up to the haunt, and the lines were just so long that the four of us looked at each other and went, no. But, clearly I learned my lesson. I'm willing to go stand in lines for haunts for however long it takes.
Or pay money to VIP.
Yeah.
It's totally worth it sometimes.
No,
that's like the other day when we were in Ohio, we did Factory Terror, like I told you guys, and Ghoul Brothers and
we have them.
Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory. And Ghoul Brothers, we actually just did the VIP because it was hard trying to cram all three in one night,
Right.
Yeah.
You're either going to spend you're going to spend time or you're going to spend money.
I like Ghoul Brothers a lot. I was at Ghoul Brothers the first year they opened. I was there, and I thought it was good for like being the first year.
Yeah.
But I actually I liked it a lot. Probably the best. Well, I mean, Factory Terror is Factory Terror, especially if you've never been there.
Yeah.
But as I've been to them a lot, and I've been to Haunted School. Like my brother used to live in Ohio back before he lived in New Jersey, so we used to go to Haunted Schoolhouse and Laboratory too. So, and that one doesn't really change much.
No, but I do like their seasonal haunts. They have a lot of seasonal.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we went for their Valentine's Day though. I didn't realize it was just a schoolhouse, which kind of sucked. Because the laboratory wasn't open, but
right.
But yeah, they're always good times, and now they're owned by Factory Terror too.
It's really funny. I was actually gonna add on to the whole waiting in line for like hours for like a haunted house. I have a habit of eating a huge ass meal before I do that. So then you're just like feeling like, oh, can this thing go any faster?
No, we've gotten to the point where we strategize. We strategize food. We strategize beverages. She has spreadsheets with our times. So.
Oh yeah, we have to.
Oh yeah, because whenever we all went out to get some food before we went to the Madhouse at the Trans Allegheny one, I was like standing in line. And I was
that restaurant was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't the greatest, and I was praying to God I didn't have to use the porta-john, and that was like
we're very careful about what we eat ahead of time because
Lily, one of
my biggest fear is to shit myself in a haunt. And that's my biggest fear, and it is not like totally out of the realm of possibilities.
I don't know what I did right there. I left for a second.
You missed the whole thing.
This topic ain't that bad, Sean. What are you
I was trying to scroll over here, and I must have hit something. I don't know.
Anywho,
that's the thing when you go live.
I know, right? That's why I'm happy he does all this stuff. I just kind of jump in and.
We just got Phil his first mic the other day.
And clear your throat and sniffle.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so every cough, sniffle, and yawn is going to be a lot more clear now. So I'm going to bring it to Bel. I'm going to bring it to Bel Air with me too, so I can disrupt Mikey with his investigation.
I think I hear something. I think it's Phil.
Damn it, Phil!
Bring a neti pot.
I should just be a dick one night and do it.
Well, that's like that little clip video that Mikey made of you just snorting and sniffing and everything. It's from Greenville. It's just clips of him doing it.
That's hilarious.
You know what? I've always had allergies even as a kid, and I'm lucky I could stay up till like 2:00 anymore. I'm always the guy who's like starts yawning first. Just it just happens. I mean, what can you do?
I know.
Part of life.
Driving to the haunt, we're yawning, but
and it's always funny because it don't matter what you do, and what you do in your life doesn't actually change the time of the day. 4:00 is gonna be 4:00 for everybody.
Right.
That's cool though. I just have to kind of drink a bunch of Red Bull or something like that, which doesn't do the trick at all.
No.
Nope. Does the exact opposite.
I know something I was going to ask you guys earlier. I forgot. Have you been to Freddy's Haunts before?
We were there once, like a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a hunt for fun.
I had a story because we were talking about the mazes or whatever, and I lost topic or whatever. Remember Sean was telling us about this, Phil, that they went and I don't if it's been a few years, you probably don't know. I think the maze is a lot bigger than it was. But they went on like opening night, and the lights went out, and they couldn't find their way out. He said they were in there for like 3 hours stuck in the maze.
He did say that.
Oh my
I was wondering if you've ever been out there before.
That's hilarious.
Oh,
my
man.
god.
That's our nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I freaked out, and the lights were out for like 10 seconds, maybe at most. We went. It was a regular swamp. You know how like everybody has the lights.
So we were
the
telling
green
you,
lasers, or whatever. Yeah,
we were telling you about Dayton Scream Park,
Yeah.
which is one of the places we went. We hit Face Your Fears, Hell's Dungeon, Dayton Scream Park.
All in one night.
All in one night. Dayton Scream Park is like this old school kind of 80s style trail that winds around what looks like an old fairground through some trailers. And, you know, you'll walk into a trailer and it will be completely random. We walked into this place and it was a swamp, and we're used to swamps. We've seen, we know what swamps are like. The green lights pooling around you and you can't really see what's off to the side. And
I mean, we should have had a clue, because when we opened the curtain, there was a clown standing on the railing, like looming over us. So
there's a clown in the swamp. Okay, we can deal with that. We walk into the trailer and another clown pops up. So there's 2 clowns in the swamp. And then I keep going, and then I realize she's not with me, and there's clown number 3 who's sort of leaning over the railing, and she's stopped. All the lights go out.
Oh, shit.
Swamp lights, everything.
Everything.
It's black.
On purpose or no?
Yes, absolutely on purpose. Absolutely on purpose.
Yeah.
The lights come back up. I'm still up against the railing. She is trying to turn herself into a damn turtle. Like, she's trying to actually retract her head and arms into her torso, because she's surrounded by clowns. She's surrounded by clowns.
That's awesome.
And it was 10 seconds of darkness, if that.
Yeah.
If that. Just lights down. Lights.
I didn't know when the lights came back up.
No. Nope.
See, that's one thing. I had a conversation with my brother about this the other day, and it seems like, I don't know, some of the older haunts used to do it, but a lot of newer haunts like don't have an end scene anymore. Like the haunts just end. Like you need to have like a finale, you know. Like I missed that with a lot of haunted houses.
Yeah, it's like a horror film, you know. It's like there's always an ending to a horror film. It can be good or bad.
And everybody used to do the chainsaw at the end and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Like I know, like if I personally owned my own, like you'd remember that last scene, and it just doesn't seem that way anymore, you know.
I mean, there are a few places that really still do that. If you go to some place like Terror Town out by Cincinnati,
I'd love to go to that place. I think we talked about that last time.
It's bananas.
Yeah.
And there, if you agree to wear the red or the yellow bracelet, if you allow yourself to get messed up or touched,
crazy,
dirty, wet, whatever, you get the last scene.
Okay.
And the last scene is spectacular.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's what I was telling you about, Phil, that I wanted to go to. That's kind of far.
How far is it again?
It's like
4.5 hours or
something. 4.5,
yeah.
I think we can pull that off.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. You should go.
Yeah.
Especially if we stayed. I mean, I've went to like
absolutely.
Penhurst in the same night and came back. It was terrible because I didn't get back to like 7 in the morning.
I'd die. I couldn't do
Can't
it.
imagine. No.
Oh man.
Who would ever do anything like that?
3 hours. Well, I mean, we did 3 hours and we went to 2 haunts and then we drove home. But it was up.
We would totally
yawned
do
a
that.
lot.
We would.
We did.
But you know, a few places they'll do something like that. Like Crawford School this year, the haunt in the basement, they've arranged it so that there is a final scare. Where else have we been where it feels like
Dayton was a final scare, but we
Yeah.
just got lost afterwards.
yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of Blackout Haunted House? I can't remember if I asked you.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that one?
Thank you.
Where's our shots at?
Well, I'm jealous. What the hell? You know?
Here, I want mine.
Yeah, come on here.
Was that the dog giving you the shots?
yeah. I have her very well trained. Like that's what we get for her face on camera. No, I remember reading about Blackout years ago before, before we ever started doing this. That just sounds
terrible.
Well,
fascinating.
You know what? I heard it wasn't as insane as you make it out to be.
See, I think people do that. Like, remember people used to talk about the basement like it was like the most evil thing, and how could you? And then we go, well, okay, we were terrified when we went because the people, the people right ahead of us bunnied out like 3 minutes in, and we were like, oh my gosh.
What did you go one of the first few years though, or one of the last years? It was
2016, and it was still pretty.
It was intense. Phil,
it was pretty rough.
Phil honestly scared the crap out of us. Yeah. That was the moment where I was like, either I say the magic word or I'm just in this.
Yeah,
but it was completely bizarre and intense. And the thing that I think the thing that scared us even more than waiting in that pen outside of the building and hearing the stories about what was waiting for us was there was a couple about our age who went in before us and didn't even make it out of the first room.
No shit.
They bunnied out. They turned right around. They came back up the stairs and they're like,
and our friend turned to us and said, "Do you guys?"
Actually, it's funny because my buddy Nick, Sean may know who he is. Nick Noir. He used to be married to Macabre Noir. Like, he's a gothy looking dude and nicest guy you'd ever meet. He's the type of dude where, like, you talk with him, his personality and his voice does not fit his image at all. Friendliest dude. And I think the one season they were trying to see how many bunnies they can get. He played death. I think he had a record of over 20 bunnies in one night.
Wow.
Yeah.
And because like I think I went through like the second season that it was on, and me and my girlfriend at the time went through, and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever done. Like, I loved it. Everything about it was awesome. And now it's, I don't want to say it's progressively gotten a little more tame, but they've made it linear, story based, and I want them to go back to the old school stuff. But I know what you mean too. Like it's kind of and you kind of feel like a sense of pride whenever you're finished with a hunt like that, because the last two couples, like bunnied even going down the steps, you're like, really?
Right? You know? They got to the first guy who was like Sniffy. I called him Sniffy. But like,
so it was Phil
on the couch. He pulled you on Phil was later. Phil was making balloons. He pulled us on the couch with him, and it was so gross.
He was, sticking our heads in his armpits. It was
like sticking his face, sniffing us. And you could feel his beard on.
It was a lot.
We were like, what did we get into?
So talking about that, is there anything that's off limits that would make you say bunny that you wouldn't want to do?
Oh.
I know, like with Blackout and that, I know like they used to like waterboard people, and I've heard they even use like staple guns on people and shit like that.
Ooh, that's brutal.
I mean, ow.
It's McCamey Manor is even worse too.
I refuse that place. That's not a haunted house to me.
No. That's not scary, and it's not about, like, one of the things I liked about what happened in the basement is it kind of takes you out of yourself, and it was psychological as much as, or even more than physical.
I mean, there was that first year was very, very physical. It wasn't as the next years, but it was still very physical. But that was part of the psychological, getting through it, and that was and even Terror Town can be is more physically demanding than psychologically, we think.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the both. I like,
And the thing is too, there are, ways to like get rough in like a certain scene with also being very safe. Cause like, with the basement, they were rough, obviously in the beginning, but safety was always their number one rule. They couldn't do certain things. And I think this poor fella, he was a bigger dude. He actually ended up like getting lightheaded, and he fell down like maybe a 3 thing of stairs, and I think he like bumped his head, and of course the insurance company had to get involved, and you know what happens. They're like, wait a second here, but I think
Wait, how'd you do that?
you know, and it does happen. It does happen, and you know, the basement, I miss it. I really do. It's that's actually probably the only reason I still love working for the haunt. I mean, it's a fun place, but I don't know. Just you know, like Sean said, it's just one of those things where. One of the things that I also kind of laugh at is how people just sign the waiver just to sign it. They don't actually read the damn thing. They're like, wait a second here. Why are they touching me? Well, you signed the damn waiver, you know?
I don't understand. I mean, clearly what we do is we write about haunts so people will know what they're like.
Exactly.
And they still go to Terror Town and say, why did they get me muddy? They got blood on me. Well,
yes.
That's what they do. You got the bracelet.
Somebody at the basement grabbed my wrist.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's funny because different people have different things too. Like I don't like to be shocked.
Yeah.
That's not that nobody is hearing this that needs to not hear it.
Let me just point out, if you do, she's just going to grab my hand and be like,
her do
there
it.
you go.
Yes. The girl who wanted us to use the tinsel to decorate, she's going to do that.
She backed up.
I knew immediately that tinsel. No, I'm not touching that. I don't know why.
But, you know, people have different levels, and it's so funny because the first thing most people ask when you start talking about going to a haunted house is, oh, they don't touch you, do they?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people really want to feel like they're moving through a horror movie, that they're watching it play out right in front of them, but they're not in it.
Right.
But then
Makes sense.
there's a bunch of people who kind of want that experience.
Yeah, want to be more immersed in it.
So
yeah.
See, I think it would be cool to have like an overnight experience, like a
That'd be
place
sweet.
where like you stay at a hotel and they mess with you at night and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I know
Wasn't
they have
there
that
one that had a camp?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's a camp one that does something like that, but I always thought that would be cool.
Yeah, me too. That would be awesome. We'd do that.
Oh, we would absolutely do that.
So if I could give you any type of money right now, you can go anywhere in the world for a haunt, what would it be?
That's a tough one there.
I know.
Is there any
It's so
like
hard.
foreign ones that you know of, that, like over in Japan or something? Because I know like they're supposed to be big into that culture. I've heard.
Yeah, they have. I know that they have haunted houses kind of all year round, and they're just part of the culture, and also pretty narrative driven. I would love to see that. There's the one is it in New Zealand? Spookers, the one that's a year-round haunt, that somebody took this big old ranch and just turned it into a haunted house, and it keeps going. I think somebody did a documentary about it, because people come there to work, and they just kind of stay, become part of the family.
We're cool to do that as like a full-time your job or whatever.
Yeah, can you imagine? That would be one place I'd like to see.
Yeah, it's so hard to say, because the haunts are never what we think they're going to be when we get there.
Right. Exactly.
So like, I don't know.
To me, it's like I just like how, like, the original, the ideas that all these haunts have of their own is awesome. It's like watching a horror film.
Me
You
too.
can watch the same type of horror film, but they're going to be slightly different from each other. I like.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They all have a different vision of what they want it to be.
I mean, there's so much creativity out there. Like this weekend, we're going to go to a place that's pretty much all immersive theater game playing. We're going to go to a place that is this rural trail where they build their own props. We're going to, a place where I think every year the guy who runs the haunt probably sits down with his team and says, hey, what if we built a room that completely spun upside down? You think we could do that? And they're going to try it. And we're going to go to a place where, people just like having fun and messing with you. And they're all different ways of looking at the even when we went on our trip to Dayton, like the night that we hit Face Your Fears and Dayton Scream Park and Hell's Dungeon.
Yeah.
They were all very, very different.
It made it super easy for us to write the reviews because we could remember very clearly where everything happened. They were so different from this kind of aggressive, dark touch experience to this, crazy trail to this, playful interaction. And they were all good and all fun in their own ways. And I mean, I think that's one of the problems that we run into, because people will ask us, well, what's your favorite haunt? Where should I go? Like, well, what do you like?
Yeah, exactly.
What scares you? What can you tolerate?
Right.
Yeah. Or what do you want to? Like, what do you know? When we first started, well, not the first year. The first year we were just like, hey, let's go to haunted houses. And then after basement, we were like, let's find the scariest haunted house. So like we spent a year doing that. And then the following year we thought, let's just open it up to everything. We'll go on all the hay rides and all the mazes and everything. And it was fun. We had fun at all of it, but they were all very different kinds of fun.
Right.
And, depends what people like.
That's
even
like,
the hay rides are all different.
Oh,
I think that like one of the first ones I was at was Alan's Haunted Hayride.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like, I was a little kid and my brother was in the Boy Scouts and I was like crying and holding on to him the whole time. And he was like super embarrassed. But then another one was Castle Shannon, the haunted school. That was like one of the original ones I've ever been to. And they're both kind of corny, but I mean, they had a special place in my heart,
Yeah.
Like I still try to go to Alan's.
Where did we go where they were joking? It was more funny. She's the same numbers.
Yeah.
The Haunted Hills Hayride.
Was that the one where they stand up in the middle?
Yeah, they jumped up onto the hay wagon and sort of enacted these little tableaus in front of us, and they were joking with all the parents and all the kids on the ride. So not necessarily trying to terrify you, but engaging everybody in a different way.
Well, they still have their witch there, because I used to love the witch there. She was always funny.
The last time we went, they did, but that's been a couple years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phil, you've been there before, right? Because we used to go with Scare House, Haunted Hills Hayride out in North Versailles.
Oh, that one's great. Oh yeah, it's fun. I love hay rides. There's just something about it, just relaxing, right? And then they just jump on there and start attacking you. And
I know, right? They're just like out in the woods. I love being out in the woods in the dark. Oh my gosh.
And then I love when they start climbing over the side of the wagon.
I know. And then I freak out.
me and Jen went to what was it, Hell's Hollow? You ever been to Hell's Hollow?
Yes.
Their wagon was made out of like 2x4s.
Oh my god!
They're like pulling. Like I thought the wagon was gonna break.
It goes around the corner. We're like, oh my gosh!
We hit a tree when we were on there too.
No, God.
That is so funny.
It was fun though, but
yeah,
that's supposed to be haunted too. Actually, like their barn's supposed to be really haunted out there.
Oh yeah, and the grounds around it, because it's a story that everybody tells. Everybody says this is an Indian burial ground. Well, there apparently the land that was built on had specifically been stolen from somebody who was buried on the land. And we were on that hay wagon with some woman who lived in the neighborhood, and she was, dead serious, like, yep, he's still here. He still haunts this area and he's still not happy. So
we were on the hay wagon with her and the lady who got mud in her eye. they did the ATVs. They were like spinning them around, and you got mud got flung up everywhere.
I think at one of our conventions at Hillview we were at, we had a guy who was an actor. I think he played the Scarecrow like when you first came in, and he came over and talked to us and was like, "Oh, like maybe I can get you guys out there, come out and investigate." Like, but I haven't heard anything from him since. But that would have been cool.
Yeah, that would be.
I love Hillview.
I have a camp right in Slippery Rock, so it's like not far from there.
It's really
Slippery
crazy.
Rock campground shirt on right now.
It's funny going back to all the different types of haunted houses. I think one of my favorite rooms I've ever been in is the one at the 100 Acre Manors in the big church. You see the big goat dude or whatever.
Yes.
I wish that thing would move though. But
yeah. It's funny because like it's so dark and so like anti-religious, but it's just so fucking badass when you're looking at it.
You walk in there and you're like, my soul is in danger now.
You should definitely go to Terror Town.
Yes.
Yeah, if you like that, out there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You've been to the Haunted Hoochie? I probably asked you that last time, but I don't
We've
know.
not.
No.
Because that's definitely like that, very satanic and stuff like that. But
I don't know if
their sets are crazy.
Yeah,
they have a couple of satanic things in there. They have like the church scene and they have a demon birth, and also there's all
demon
birth
crazy
shit going on.
That was a fun one. I went there twice in one October. It was amazing. I mean, I know they get a lot of shit for being of bad taste during certain like bad events, but if you get past that, they're actually a pretty fun haunt. I do like those guys.
That's all we've heard. Yeah,
we've heard nothing but like highest praise for what they do and how they do it.
Right.
It's definitely my favorite I've ever been to, for sure.
Wow. Now that's an endorsement.
And they do touch you too, and I think
you do need to like the extreme stuff, but
oh yeah. Yeah, it was. I don't know if they used like actual leaf blowers or if they just actually had chainsaws with like these plastic things on top of them. But like the one dude actually was like pretending to saw my arm off, and he was pushing down hard.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh fuck!"
Well,
they're very vulgar there too.
Oh yeah, they are. Yeah, it's one we haven't done yet, Sean. Together, we haven't gone there. What the hell, man?
It's been a couple of years since I've been to the Hoochie.
Yeah. Let's have a mandate.
Yeah.
And film it.
Well, is that actually is that by where Terror Town is? Because I know it's like
I know the town is
Ohio.
Ohio.
It's close to Columbus.
Oh,
what?
It's close to Columbus.
There's a whole joke that I thought was in New York forever.
Every time we would drive past, it'd be like, we could stop at the Hoochie. But if you went out there, you could hit Carnage, Fear Columbus, Haunted Hoochie. I think there's a whole bunch right there.
Yeah, Dent's kind of by there.
Dent,
too,
yeah.
It's
I've been to Dent before.
Dent is close. The Dent's Cincinnati, so it's a little further. It's about an hour or so further. But there's Ohio has some amazing haunted houses.
Yeah. I think our whole tri-state area in general, like Pennsylvania, West Virginia, like we have good haunted houses in our area.
We are very lucky.
Yeah. West Virginia and Pennsylvania also have great haunts. And my daughter's in college out in California now, and she's like, okay, so I can go to Universal or Not Scary Farm or somebody's yard. They don't have the haunts out here that she's used to from this area.
Yeah.
That's like Universal's Halloween Horror Nights is definitely on my bucket list. I definitely want to get there someday.
It's I've seen the Hollywood version, and it is absolutely worth seeing because it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful, and it's amazing to see what kinds of effects you can get when you're using, the movie props, and you can make a wall disappear. You're walking through a haunted house, and the wall suddenly goes transparent, and Michael Myers is standing right behind it.
Oh, that's
awesome.
cool.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Well,
Beautiful.
You haven't been to Factory Terror this year, right?
Not this year.
This isn't really like spoiling anything because it's like outside. They have like real animatronics now, like the kind you see at Disney. Like there's a couple.
Oh wow.
There's like a hillbilly couple that talks to each other. They got to be probably like $30,000 animatronics or something. They're like legit.
Wow.
But that was something new that I know. They had like before you go into one house, and then at the end there was another one that looked like Disney quality.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Hey, I can dig it.
They do a good job out there.
They do. Yeah, it's really good.
That's awesome. So now I want to go to one. I feel like I haven't done any this month, even though it's only like October 4th.
I know.
We need to go somewhere on Saturday, Phil. That's what I was trying to do.
I know. I have so much shit going on this month. It's insane. Like I got invited to like 3 Halloween parties, and oh jeez,
it's hard being popular. It's hard when everybody wants you to come to their parties, right?
Yeah, this is why I'm like happy to be spouseless and kidless. I don't have to.
We got to do something when we're up in Sleepy Hollow because we're going to Sleepy Hollow for a convention.
That's
really
crazy.
Yeah, and me and my wife are actually speaking at the convention too.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what is it about paranormal events in the area?
Yeah,
okay.
It's it's called Sleepy Hollow Con, I think is what it's called.
Okay.
It's actually
Cool.
it's my profile picture actually on my Facebook right now.
Okay.
But
Nice.
yeah, we're going up on a Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yeah, I think we're
Friday.
going
Friday.
Is it Friday? Leaving Friday. The thing's Saturday.
I hope it was Friday because that's what I requested off for.
Yeah, it is Friday. Yeah, because I got Friday and Monday off. But we're going up Friday. The convention's Saturday. Then we're going to New York City, I think, on Sunday because Jen's one friend lives there, and then we're coming back Monday. And we were going to do the Beetlejuice musical on Broadway, but it's coming to Pittsburgh in February anyway, so I think we're going to wait. But we're going to go to Beetle House, which is the Beetlejuice themed bar, and they have like a restaurant and all that.
Oh, yes.
That will be fun.
And we'll go to like the cemeteries and Sleepy Hollow and the covered bridge and all that type of stuff, you know. So.
Yeah, there is, you know what? When we're off of this, I'm going to message a couple friends who live in that area. A couple of my best friends live right outside of Sleepy Hollow.
Okay.
And we went there like years ago during the day and toured some of the old churches and the graveyard. But I'll ask them if they know of any other places in the area you absolutely need to see.
Thank you.
There was that really cool place by Terror Town that we went to, that arboretum with all the gravestones. That was
yeah. And then there was we went to.
Sorry, your dog just.
my dog is upstairs.
Your dog getting drunk off of those shots right now.
Yeah, this is what happens.
And quite possibly pulling our wires.
Love it.
But that was really, really cool.
Yeah. Buddy, you are a menace.
She just got pulled away.
Oh, so cute though. Yeah,
Well, you just look like a head there sitting in the dark.
I know, right?
Like a floating head.
Sing Bohemian
it
Rhapsody.
blends in with everything. My black shirt and my black back.
Don't worry about lighting, Phil. You're good.
I mean, who needs lighting? Screw it.
Yeah.
I don't even realize until someone just said it. Thanks, Sean. You know. Oh, man.
So do you have bucket list places you guys want to go? Like what's on your list?
For like a haunted house attraction, like that type of thing. Like I said, I definitely want to go Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
What is the one? What's that one called?
I do want to do the
one in New
Blackout
Orleans.
house.
What's the one in New Orleans called?
Oh,
13th Gate. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. Me and my wife have been to New Orleans. We were actually there. We got engaged there on Devil's Night. So we went to the mortuary, and we went to what was another place called? There was another place there, and it was like back in this factory. I think it was one of the chain ones, but then it got switched to a different name.
Okay.
I can't remember what it was called, but it wasn't 13th Gate. I think it's in like Baton Rouge, maybe. So it's not in New Orleans.
Okay.
And at the time, like we flew
right.
down there, we didn't have a car, so we were like Ubering places, not like we could drive somewhere, you know. But that's definitely, I'd love to go to that one. I know that one always is like highly ranked. Darkness in St. Louis, I'd like to go to too.
Right. Yeah.
See, I
know they do a lot of
some
conventions
these.
I know.
I gotta start looking some of these up. I get so lazy, like after work, I don't even like look up half this shit. I'm like,
right. And once you start like following someone, any social media, they all start coming up for you, and you know, people recommend places. And
I think I told you guys before too. Like I used to run Pittsburgh Haunted House Club. That was before I worked for Scare House.
Yeah.
So like before I worked for Scare House, I'd probably get at least 30 a season, but once I started doing that, you know, it cut down on a lot. And then just now, like being married and my wife not wanting to go, like she said, I ruined like haunted houses for her because I want to go to them so many, you know, like my brother's still down to go all the time.
We're like, let's go 4 every weekend.
And that's
see, I feel if I had like extra income, it hurts your wallet.
That's hard too. Yes.
Especially these days, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, and if you are trying to get multiple in, you're gonna have to get a fast pass, and usually that's at least double the price.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's the thing though. Like being in this area, like I know like $20 is a cheap one around here, but but my brother lived out in New Jersey. He said like $40 was like a cheap one. Like they're expensive out that way where he was at. Yeah.
I even think with like obviously with the investigations we do, because we're obviously paying to go to these places to hang out and see if we catch anything. Even that adds up too. And I was even telling Sean, like, if I still had like a car payment and student loans, I wouldn't be doing any of this.
Yeah.
Because that shit doesn't go away until you pay it off. You know? Or at least I do like one every now and then. But it's just that's why I'm happy that like all the the more expensive shit's taken care of. I think Crescent was probably one of the more pricier ones that we've been to because it's so.
Well, I know
large,
for me personally, you weren't there, but when we went to B-Day Trans-Allegheny, that was like, I think it's $1,500 just to rent the building.
Wow.
And then it's another $250 because you have to get insurance too. So it's like $1,750.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say no to that.
But Mansfield, if you rent it on a weekend, it's $3,000. But the thing is, you can have up to 100 people for it though.
Wow.
That place is massive.
Okay, so
God.
That place is huge.
Oh yes,
I was.
Well, I know you were at Blood Prison, but yeah, I've never actually done the haunted house. I'd love to do that too.
Excellent.
it was really good.
Really good.
Yeah. I think you definitely make it worth your while if you interact with the actors. People did end up running into us, but I think a lot of people, we saw people ahead of us who I think they got the fast pass because they just appeared.
Is that a
and
touch
they were
on?
just.
They
have the option. Yeah.
Okay.
So
There's
if you
an
buy the
upcharge.
necklace, you get the touch pass. It's like $7. And people were like, even the people with the touch pass, some of them were just blowing by the actors, like just running through seat, like not running. They weren't even running. They were just walking really fast, like not even looking to see what was happening.
That, yeah.
No. And we're like, oh, what are you? Like, are you going to do something to us? We're waiting for it.
and it's also, I mean, that it's just such an impressive building.
Yeah.
And you go through the cell blocks as part of the haunted house. Yeah. So they're not trying to disguise what it is.
Right.
And they're leaning into the identity as the prison.
But they still have lots of props. Like there was still a lot of that was.
Now is the whole theme prison, or do they change the theme at all?
There are subsections. I mean, you enter,
but it's still like a prison. You
enter through the warden's living quarters. You go down into the cell blocks.
But talking about what is it? The warden's widow, or whatever. She looks awesome.
That's
we did not actually
design.
Like I think we heard her scream a little far ways away, but she has a scream that she's known for. We didn't hear it close up.
Phil, do you know what we're talking about? The warden? She's like 6'7" or something. This woman, she's huge.
Yeah.
Looks.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah, she's tall, and I think they put her. I think she just has platforms on, as well as already being tall.
And then this headdress, they have like a whole funeral wreath headdress.
I know she's like real popular on TikTok too. I always see
yeah.
But that building is just, it's massive, and the path that the haunt takes goes through so much of it. I mean, we ended up kind of exiting on the other side of the building, and I was a little bit shocked. I'm like, how did we end up here?
Have you ever done any of the daytime tours there?
No, we haven't.
Because like we've done conventions there, and the first time me and Phil were there, we went through part of the building, and we're like, oh yeah, this building's kind of big, but like Trans-Allegheny I think's bigger, this and that. But like this past year, there was like a whole other section we didn't know about. That place is massive.
Yeah. You go to some of these places like Trans-Allegheny or the Reformatory, and you can see how they're built to intimidate.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being the prisoner being pulled up out front of one of these buildings? And
Lord.
Oh.
Well, I know the main building for Trans-Allegheny, it's called the Kirkbride, and I guess that was like a common, like, I forget what the first guy's name is, but that was like a common way, I guess, they used to build like a lot of the asylums, was this Kirkbride plan or whatever.
That one is just, we have to go back to that, because that place is
we're
going
on the 21st. What do you mean we have to? It's on our calendar. Look at your calendar.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but it's just
21st.
gorgeous and creepy all by itself. And when we've been to a lot of really good haunted attractions in well, Scare House is in a mall now. And the fact that it has as much atmosphere as it does really speaks to the talents of the designers.
Right.
But when you walk into some of these buildings that just have that atmosphere, like in the brick and mortar and in the trees outside.
The atmosphere is really cool. But then you go to places like Gold Brothers, you know, in the shopping center.
Yeah.
But it's so great. Good.
Super fun.
You just never know what you're going to get when you go inside.
Well, that's like we went to Phil, were you with us? I know a bunch of Scare House people went to Fear Experience. You guys ever been to Fear Experience? I don't think it's around anymore. Because that used to be in like a shopping mall too. And it was really coolly themed inside. One of the things I really remember about that is there was like a kind of like a laser tag thing. They used to give these machine guns and you go around and like shoot zombies because they had like 3 different things inside. But it was really cool theme, but I don't think it's around anymore. But my daughter actually, she was there and they used to have this Fear Experience Haunted House. Like she would always sing the little jingle or whatever.
That's funny.
Which, talking about that type of stuff, you do any of the like paintball stuff? I know like Pittsburgh has a couple of those.
We have not.
We haven't.
Ooh.
No. We were going to try. Crawford has Jelly Ball this year. And I thought, oh, let's go and try it. But then we ended up going to another haunt afterwards.
Is that like a separate like thing, or is it like?
It's a separate thing. Yeah, because they have, they have the escape room and the axe throwing, and now they have Jelly Ball, and they have a little coffee shop, merchandise trailer.
Escape rooms are the devil. I'm telling
we need a lot of help. Like, just
I'm so bad.
Keep giving us clues.
So bad at them.
Well, we actually what was the Enter the Imaginarium, which was out in
that was
Harmer,
I think.
Yeah, Harmerville.
Yeah,
like
Harmerville.
Scare House designed that, and we got to be like test subjects for it.
Oh wow.
And the first one we did was like the magician one, and we had a couple intelligent people with us, and we made it to the final room, but we didn't beat the whole thing. But the other time I went to the other one, can't remember what the other one was called. The Inventor's Paradox, I think is what the other one was called. And I went with just like me and my family, and there was like a random group of people. We made it like the second room. We sucked.
We need so much help. We went to
Unlock the Adventure.
We went to Unlock the Adventure, where
really
they will
fun.
give
It's
you
a lot of fun,
unlimited clues.
Because
where's that at?
Titusville.
Okay.
It's a drive, but they have
like where the training at is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And they have like 3 different themed escape rooms. And one is kind of horror themed, so of course we had to do that. Yeah. And then the
cabin with the
cabin. There was Survive the Storm.
Yeah,
which was just incredibly immersive.
Really
like
good.
You're supposed to be at this camp somewhere in Pennsylvania, and this deadly storm is rolling through, and you have to, get the radio to work and radio for help before the storm comes through. And it's just beautifully designed and really completely convincing. But
they're about like having fun.
Yeah.
So they're not.
So when the 2 of us are running in circles and bumping into each other.
Do you see this? And we're like, what? Because we do that.
And then there's the one up by Zelienople that's sort of Fearscape's Haunt has an escape room that's kind of.
Are they around still, Fearscapes?
Yeah. I mean, and the escape room is a little bit, sci-fi, Lovecrafty feeling. And that was fun. But I sort of felt like we were just
I think they were like, do you need help?
Yes. Yes, we do. Always.
Yeah.
Oh, nice of you to join us, Phil.
Oh yeah.
Oh hi.
Oh wow, there's a room.
I was wondering where that sniffling was coming from.
What the hell you're talking about?
We always joke around that Phil has somebody like chained in his basement, so he probably had somebody in the background. That's why.
That's why we got rid of them, so we're good.
I gotta check the security camera here. So you guys, hang on, let me check.
We say he's the Ted Bundy of our group.
I mean, considering our interactions with him, we're not surprised.
Wait, what?
Take it as a compliment, Phil.
Oh, okay.
Their house.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
You will always be balloon guy to us.
Yeah.
And
Were you Bat Guy too?
Which one?
Bat. Oh, okay, we just make up names for people.
those are
Here's
nice
Batman.
names.
Oh no, I'm
Did you ever have a bat? No,
No, I did not.
just
That was-
balloons.
the balloon guy was great. His name was Larry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I love him.
Yes.
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 Yes. Not my favorite character that I played, but he was one of the funnest one. And
What
I
else
tell
did you play?
I played the Sandman for one of the seasons. I got to walk on 12-inch stilts that I was able to. That was fun as hell. I wasn't Nate Blaine, who was the original Sandman. I was the one.
I wonder if they're thinking his Nate maybe for the bat because he was.
Oh yeah, I had my shirt on though whenever I was the Sandman, which you know, I'm happy I was able to because I didn't want to have all that body paint all over me, you know. But that was my favorite character because I didn't speak a word of dialogue. I just grunted and stuff, basically how I do now in real life. So
it simplifies interactions. It's really
yeah. I mean, I just ran after people and I would punch the wall really hard and. Yeah, it was a fun role, and I love playing it. And our friend Kaylin, she was my little minion, so she was the little distractor. And then when she gave me my cue, I'd come out from like a long, dark hallway that was filled with, fog. And I love that character so much. Not a word of dialogue, which I'm a motor mouth if I'm working in the basement.
Yeah,
it was fun though, and. Yeah, it looks like the security camera's working okay. So,
So you said you acted in Castle of Blood. Have you guys ever acted in any other haunted houses before?
When I was a teenager, I worked at a couple haunted houses. I was screaming girl, in peril. So I know I feel it when the victim girls are trying to preserve their voices all night and keep screaming. But it was years. Like it was years since I did anything like that. I think
actually I did. My kids acted. I forgot about that. And Carnegie has like a haunted trail, and it used to be a fundraiser.
I live in Heidelberg.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
So
I work-
the trail
I
at
work
the
at
park.
Carnegie Elementary School, actually.
Okay. So yeah, the park where she was raising money for her kids to build the skate park, which is there now, but I guess they still have the trail.
Yeah.
And when my kids were young, they volunteered for it, and they were young enough that I had to be there. So, but they loved it. Somebody spray painted, did the I can't remember what it's called, but spray painted their faces. They were little zombies, and people would walk through this tunnel, and it was open on the sides except for lights, and they would go running over and be like, ah!
Creepy
They
kids.
love making people pee.
Nothing creepier than creepy kids, right?
Right.
Oh, I know.
Kids scare the hell out of me.
Talking about the whole Carnegie thing and that,
No,
I was talking to my principal today, and he knows that I'm into the ghost stuff, and I used to work for Scarehouse and everything, and he was telling me, he's an older guy now. He was telling me that he worked at a haunted house when he was like 11 years old, and he would used to grab the people's ankles that would come running by or whatever, and one day he got kicked in the mouth, knocked his 2 front teeth out when he was 11 years old.
Wow.
Jeez, owie.
Which, I mean, I've been hitting stuff in haunted houses before, but luckily nothing like that.
Yeah. Wow.
I had some very heavy set woman use my nose as a support beam during one of the nights. So accidentally, I was working the first year there as a zombie, and I was operating this moving floor, and I would be behind this curtain with a little barrier that was about maybe up to my waist, and then I would hit a button, and it would make the entire hallway light up, and you see fake blood all over the walls. Well, this group of people would come around the corner, so I would hit it, and then I would go out, pretend to grab them, while this big woman just went whack, caught me right in the nose. I thought it was broken for a brief second. She apologized, but holy hell, that hurt.
Wow.
Oh yeah, she was a big wowoman.
Hit with purses, and when I used to do the chef character, which was kind of grimy to begin with.
Yes.
And sometimes I'd wear a wife beater, sometimes I wouldn't have a shirt on at all. They actually painted "Kiss the Cook" on my chest before. But I used to get a lot of drunk women that would fondle me.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
Sean. All right.
But then I actually, one time when I was doing Krampus, I was supposed to be like a statue type of thing. So somebody spit on me the one time because they didn't. I mean, you shouldn't be spitting on a prop anyway, but like, I didn't know I was real, you know? Yeah.
So, yeah.
No. Well, it's interesting hearing you guys talk about your experiences as actors, because I think people go to haunted houses for such different reasons, and there's this whole group of people who feel like they're going to this haunted house to, you know, prove how brave they are. And
scare me.
And you know, if somebody jumps out at them, they're going to defend themselves from the actor who is getting paid to scare you.
That's like, you don't, it kind of reminds me of like just being on a computer in general. Like you have all these keyboard warriors that talk all this shit. Like that's what they'll do. Like they'll get in your face and be like, oh, he can't do nothing to me. And they'll like, you ain't going to talk to me like it's on the street. Like why, you know, like it's so stupid.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's always like a, you know, nothing but like an ego type of thing.
It's always like some cocky teenager is trying to press his friends or something.
Oh, that's all it is. Oh, my heart girlfriend has to see how hot I am. So
and usually like the friends are like, yeah, he's an asshole. Like they don't. You know?
That's pretty much it. Yep. Oh man,
not impressed.
And the thing is too, that like even working at the one that we work at, like you still see so many dickheads that come in. The one night, like you know, people reeked of this. These two dudes were so hammered, they were going down the hallway before they actually left, and the guy had to support himself on the walls. And his buddy was like, "Dude, move!" You know. And they let him in, which happened.
But going back to the whole drinking thing, I don't understand like why people would want to be drunk in a haunted, or even like there's so many people that are high. You smell marijuana on people all the time. Like, why would you?
Like, I want to
like,
experience this. I paid to get in.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, with what we do, we kind of have to remember what happened.
Yeah. Right. I mean, having like one, you know, maybe like one or two, whatever. That's not that bad, you know. But if you're gonna go in like, you know, I killed a 12-pack earlier. I'm like,
and that's hard on the other people in the group. If you're going through a haunted house with somebody who's just hammered,
right?
You know, everybody's focus is on them. Like, you want to make sure they're safe. You want to make sure they're not, you know, doing something stupid to the actors.
Or get arrested or something.
Yeah.
No, man. They always say like, you know, a lot of shit can go on in a haunted house. You can't tell if it's real or just, you know, part of the whole act. That's a sad part too.
Which actually I was just thinking about it because I've never been drunk in a haunted house, but I've been with people who have. Actually, my daughter's mom, like, it's not my wife, it's somebody, you know, previous relationship. I went with her and two friends. It was actually at the Hoochie. And they were pretty drunk. I wasn't. But
why would you get drunk there? Because
well, that's the thing is
such a bad idea.
My ex, she peed her pants, like literally peed her pants. Like she came out of the house and she was like,
"Who needs alcohol?
Feel my pants." And she actually pissed her pants.
Yes.
Imagine
it's
that.
a real thing.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Like it was entertaining to me, but
Ew. Why would you want to smell urine?
She said, "Do I need to clean my car seat?"
I made a chick piss her pants once. That was pretty cool. I saw her like wobble out of the hallway. She even says like, "I think I just peed myself."
What you do in your apartment should stay in your apartment, Phil.
Don't bring a black light in here, man. God.
Sean brings all the equipment.
Sean hasn't actually been to my apartment yet, too, and we've been discussing of like doing like evidence reveals and stuff at my place, and so I'm the only one that actually lives on their own, you know.
Well, we actually want to do a live podcast, like, you know, in person. So that's the main reason we had Phil get a mic, because October 29th we're going to be at the Homestead Library. And Oakmont Paranormal Society runs a charity event, so we're doing a podcast live from there, and we're going to be investigating too. So we got to test it out first.
What all is at the Homestead Library? Because I'm really curious, because years ago we had a birthday party for my daughter there, and we had to set up and tear down, and it was like it's one of those places where I always felt like I was being watched the whole time.
Well, see, we had Drake on actually last week, who's the head of Oakmont Paranormal, you know, to promote this upcoming event. And I personally don't know a lot of the history of it. He kind of brought up a little bit of it, but I don't remember exactly what he was saying. But we're supposed to go I think 4:00, do like a daytime thing where he shows us around the building. And then I think we're going to grab dinner. 7:00 it opens to the public, which I think is mostly for tours and that. And then I think at 11 or 12 is when you actually do the paranormal stuff. And like our group, Bump in the Night Society, is volunteering with them. So like you could be put with like one of us and go investigate with us or something. So it's pretty cool. It's for charity too. And he said like, I think over the years they've raised like $35,000 for the library. So
nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go there. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
I miss that place. Yeah, we were there recently for the Who and
we've seen a couple concerts there. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. Although the only thing that sucks about having a concert there, you can't have a mosh pit because it's all seats.
Yeah.
Well, we were up in the balcony too, so you definitely don't want to mouse.
Oh, man, yeah.
I can just
Not do
imagine.
that.
I was sitting next to this really big dude right next to me, so I was all squished in there.
This was right during COVID too. It was super sketchy.
We already had it anyway. We're good.
Yeah, that whole place is like built for the Victorians who were all like 5'2" and this wide. So all the seats are like.
Well, that's like that was the Who. I don't know if you know who the Who is. Like not the WHO. They're Mongolian death metal.
Yeah.
So that's the show we were
They're
at.
not death metal.
I mean, that's what they're listed as, though.
Well, they're listed, but vocally they're not death metal. But yeah,
because you can understand what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
exactly.
Because they're Mongolian.
But
Anyway, we went to that show, and then I went to Atmosphere, which is a rap group, and we were up in the balcony, and the acoustics are not meant for like rap or bass. Like you couldn't understand what they were saying.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that place in general, I'm surprised they actually do have certain bands that perform there too, because I don't know, just it's beautiful. It's just very, it's like you guys said, it's just some places aren't meant to have that type of art, kind of, but I don't know. It was still a fun night. We had a blast, and I think the band that played before them was called like The Haunting or something like that. It was like a brother sister band.
Pretty good. I forget what they were called.
Yeah, they were cool.
Talking about the whole Carnegie Library, the Carnegie Library in Carnegie is supposed to be haunted too.
Yeah.
I've been in their theater before too, because the theater is supposed to be haunted there.
My daughter does shows with the Savoyards there.
Okay.
They do shows at that theater. And we went to something there. They had like somebody talking about the different entities that were there and stuff, and showing pictures of what they found.
Actually,
that was a long time ago.
I saw Rocky Horror there, which was really good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I can't get
the stage production, yeah.
They actually even had a little pre-show where they brought somebody up on stage and they like teased the guy, and so it was funny. We had the little VIP section too, so you could like throw like the stuff on the stage and all that. It was really cool.
I've never seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show from beginning to end. Never have. I don't like musicals that much. It's just
Talking about musicals, you guys, which it actually just started this past weekend, Evil Dead musical.
Ooh.
Yes.
You talk about like the blood thrown, like they have like the splatter
Yeah.
zone where they throw blood on. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Musical.
I would love to do that.
They have like a talking
Yeah.
goose and everything. Like I've been to it before.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's badass.
Everything's during haunt season.
I know. Oh my
There are
God.
Thursday and Sunday shows. We could do a Thursday or Sunday show
Uh-huh.
and sit in the splash zone.
Okay. There we go.
We could do that.
Man.
Yep.
I've already seen I already looked at my calendar earlier today. There is so much shit I have going on now, man. It's sick.
I can't even look at
What
our
do you-
calendar right now. I can't. It's just like at
That's
the
why she
beginning,
didn't know that we're going to Trans-Allegheny.
Mm-hmm.
See?
the beginning of September, I look at the calendar and it's very exciting, and there's all these things happening, like so much to look forward to. By this weekend, it's just, we can't possibly get everything in that we want to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually had to reserve like a spot with my friend Jasmine and Jeff because they've never been into a haunted house with me before, and I was like, all right, the 28th, I have nothing going on. We're doing it.
Where you going?
100 Acre Manor. I don't think they've ever
Okay.
been to that one before. So
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that. I think I'm gonna say, but like they are, I think one of Scarehouse's biggest rivals. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they're beautiful. I mean, they
Yeah,
do
for the city paper, I know 100 Acre actually won this year.
no
Like,
shit.
Scarehouse usually wins. Scarehouse came in second.
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
Kennywood was actually third.
Damn. that issue that happened at Kennywood whenever we were in the
gosh.
freaking.
My brother was there that night. Not when that happened. He left at like 8 something, but he was there.
Yeah. That's crazy. I don't even think they ever caught the dude that actually did that.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know.
Which I haven't been to Kennywood's haunt in years. I need to get out there. I actually have a season pass and you can use it, but I think now you have to pay for like 2 of their haunted houses, like the Alice in Wonderland and the Noah's Ark one. I think you have to pay for.
Okay.
That's weird. When the hell they start doing that?
I mean, it's a money thing. That's what it always is.
Yeah. Gosh. Oh man, that's really the only time I actually like going to Kennywood now is during the haunt season.
Christmas is cool too. I like going during Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think I actually went to the Christmas one where I was dating this girl. It was fun. I loved it.
So have you been to any amusement park ones? Like Cedar Point or Kings Island? Because I know they all do them too.
No, we haven't. I mean, I did Universal when I was out visiting my daughter last year, but we don't do a lot of the
We might fit it in one year, but yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like amusement parks in general or no?
Same.
Oh, love amusement parks.
Yeah.
Love them.
Oh, yeah,
do all the little dark rides and all that stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of rides can you not do? Because I can't do spinny ones anymore. Well,
I can't either. I used to love them. Like no fear of heights,
Right.
no issues with like, whatever stupid thing a roller coaster wants to do backwards or forwards. But anything that goes in a circle, I'm done.
Nope.
Done.
I like the dark rides. I mean, I'll still do roller coasters too, and I used to ride everything.
I love roller
Yeah.
But
coasters.
and water rides are fun too.
yeah.
Which have you guys been to Waldameer before? Up in Erie?
Yeah. When I was a kid, my dad's family was from Erie.
Because they have a
We
couple
used to go
little
there all
like
the
cool
time.
dark rides. Like they have the Wacky Shack, and then they have Pirates Cove. That's actually where I gave Phil COVID because I had COVID.
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had COVID. Like I was at an amusement park, I was sore and had headaches, and I was like, "Oh, it's just from like being old and getting banged around." And I found out I had COVID.
I got it right after him. Yeah.
I got COVID at Pirates Cove.
we just start making up stories to people. I've been telling them, yeah, me and Sean, I decided to, cuddle with him the one night, and this is what happened. Hey, Jeff, what's up, bud?
Hi.
But what was I gonna say? I forget.
No, I think some year we will do some of the amusement park haunts, but I think, we started. Honestly, the first place we went was Scare House, and we went because our kids were interested in going to a haunted house, but they wanted us to check it out first. They'd watched like the walkthroughs on YouTube or something, but they wanted our feedback. So we talked to each other. We're like, yeah, I like haunted houses. You like haunted houses too, right? So let's go to a haunted house and see what this is like.
Right.
And I think that just sort of started us on the path of going to, more independent haunted houses. And
now, were you at any of the older ones back in the, like I was talking about Castle Shannon? Like, were you at Castle Shannon or like Scream Asylum used to be around, which is right in the area I'm at right now?
that would have been. Well, you grew up around here.
I
grew up in the middle of the state. I grew up in the frickin' woods.
I don't remember the name of any place I went to.
Okay.
I went with groups of friends. Like my mom let me bring somebody because she, was like, I'll drive you there.
Yeah.
So I was probably 11 when we started going as a kid. And I remember there was a trail somewhere that she would drop me off, and they would take you in a building and tell you a story first, and then you would walk on. It was a walking trail, but people would like run down the hill at you. And then there was a building. I want to say it was in Ambridge, and it had like it was a regular haunted house. You walk through scenes of stuff happening. I remember sawing somebody, and there was a pitch black room with one actor in it, and you just had to find your way out. We were in there for a while, yeah.
They're kind of low tech.
yeah. A gorilla chased us out to our car,
Which actually, I just thought of something. Have you been to the Haunted Mine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I was wondering what, like, I've seen the preview for it, but I've never been there. I was wondering if it's any good.
It feels like almost two different haunts because the first you enter through what used to be, or at least last year, we haven't been this year, but last year you enter through sort of this office building, and there's little scenes set up, and there's tableaus and some jump scares, and it's fun.
It almost looks like an office decorated for Halloween, and then there's like some cool scenes, and we were like, oh, okay.
And then you walk out of the building and sort of down around this hillside, and you get into a car that drives you down into the mine.
Yeah, I saw that on a preview. That looks
That's
really
where
cool.
the craziness
And
happens.
that's where it gets like it's claustrophobic, and they were pretty aggressive.
They were
last
pretty
year.
aggressive, yeah.
It was scary. It was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah.
And I know that's kind of by Scare House too. Maybe we could, Phil, me and you can go hit those two in the same night or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could definitely do that.
You're on mute still, Phil?
It's just
I'll unmute your mic. There you
No,
go,
I'm
Phil. I
spoiled.
muted you. Nope, you muted it again.
Oh, good.
As soon as I hit it, you hit it again.
Oh man,
That's friendship.
yeah, right. Oh, that's funny. There's always that one guy, that can't do anything.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm okay with doing 2 haunted houses this too, and that'll be fun. I think that's what you guys were talking about. I'm tired. I'm sorry. It's been a long.
I want to get to Wells and Monsville in the same night too, because they're by each other too.
Yeah.
That's pretty close, and both really worth seeing because they both do something so different.
Well, did I tell you guys about the story with Wells the first time you guys were on?
I don't know if you did.
It was the only time I was ever scared at a haunted house.
no.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because like I don't know how long you guys been going there, but I went a few years ago. And it was I think it's the very first time I was there, maybe the second time I was there. But they used to lock you in this like coffin like slat thing, like it looked like a pallet kind of that came. Were you there when it did that?
No, but we heard about it.
But yeah, there was like a pallet that used to go across you, and I'm a big guy too, and they locked me in there with a stranger too, like some teenage kid. And I guess they have different sizes for people because they put us in like the big one, so they put us in that one first, and then there was like 2 or 3 other groups after us. So we're locked in there for probably, it seemed like minutes, but it was probably like less than a minute or something.
Yeah.
But I actually like started to freak out because, and it's not like I'm not really claustrophobic, but like I think it's like the feeling of being trapped. Like I knew I couldn't get out if I had to, and that's because like at Monsville they have the coffin, you could flip the lid off, you could hop out or something if you had to. This like I was like I couldn't even move, and even like breathing, like it was that close to my chest, like I started like panicking, and at the time, like I don't smoke anymore, but I used to smoke cigarettes or whatever. Yeah. As soon as I got out, I just started like power smoking cigarette after cigarette. I was literally shaking, like that's how scared I was.
Wow.
Which it actually kept me from going there for a couple of years. I was like, I'm not going back there because I'm not doing that shit again.
That's crazy.
Well, they are really inventive, and they're really good at figuring out what's going to unnerve people. They had one. I
call it like a gimmick haunted house. A lot of gimmicks.
Yeah.
They had one of like the best staged scares that I can remember. They had this room where you walk in, and the walls are painted to look like grandfather clocks.
Okay.
And you can hear sort of like a ticking in the background, and as you hear the ticking, the lights are flickering, and all of a sudden the lights go down completely. And when they come back up, the panels had flipped, and it looked like the clocks were melting, and there were figures standing behind like everybody in your group, these hooded figures. And it was just like,
I don't know. You remember the
high
beginning
concept.
scene?
Yes. I was just thinking about the beginning scene because
with
sometimes
with the guy in the chains. Remember the guy in the chains?
Oh yeah.
He looked like Dr. Satan from like House of a Thousand Corpses or whatever.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Phil, have you been to Wells?
Nope, I have not.
Oh, they have that's where they had Metal Fest. Remember, it was like an off-season thing. We were supposed to go to Metal Fest. We did.
We were supposed to go there after Greenville Manor. Oh
yeah,
my
that's
God.
what it was, but it was too late. Yeah. You love Wells.
They're really
especially
creative.
their lights out.
Mm-hmm.
They're even
the lights out
even
is
more.
nuts. The lights out is nuts.
Yeah.
And they're a touch on it too, I think, ain't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
But yeah, Phil, like I said, we should hit up that one and then go to Monsville right after too.
Let's do it, man.
And they're reasonable
There you
too.
go.
Like I think their general
They're
admission's
like
like 14
$14,
and their VIP's only like 20 something, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
And it's like a party in the yard.
Yeah.
They'll have bands there. They'll be playing videos.
They even like introduce their characters, like it's
Yes.
like a wrestler coming out. Like they'll play his music and the character will come out.
Yeah,
It's super
and like
cool.
the lights and the fog, and they come out. Yeah.
I love this so much. Damn
Yes,
it.
you would love it there.
Yeah.
We just happened to be in Greenville for a little bit too long, didn't we? It's all right. It's all right.
Next time.
Maybe
They do
next time.
seasonal too.
What's that?
They do seasonal hunts too.
Oh,
They have, like,
I guess that would make sense though, because like whenever we were going to go there, it wasn't even October. It was like
Yeah, that was that Metal Fest thing. They were supposed to be doing.
September.
oh yeah,
or something
summer.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, they'll do things like that. They'll do Friday the 13th. They do a
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day.
That's
I was actually in a movie there talking about that. It was called Ghost House. They filmed a movie, and it was me and my kids. We were extras. I actually have a T-shirt that says like Ghost House. It says extra on it. I've never actually seen it, but it was on like Amazon Prime and that got like half a star.
Looking this up. We're looking this up.
But the thing is, like, we were there all day, and they didn't pay us or nothing, obviously. But they might have given us food or something. I don't remember. But my kids like started like got over it quick. They're like, yeah, I don't want to do this shit no more. So they're like sitting on the bench. I'm in the background of every scene that I can be in.
Hey, there's that guy again.
I would like to see it someday, but I don't even,
That's awesome.
I don't even know if it's possible anymore.
What's it called again?
It was called Ghost House, and it was on Amazon
Ghost
Prime,
House.
but I don't think it is anymore
Damn.
because it was like
Might
that bad.
You were famous once, man. I would love to be like a character in like a horror film just in the background. Wouldn't that be fun? You
Oh, that
know?
would be so fun.
Oh, yeah. Even if I'm like this in the background getting like axed or something, I mean, shit, I could brag about that. Yeah, I got a big axe right in my chest, man. It was cool.
I'd love to be a killer in a horror film. That'd be awesome.
Oh, you could do that. Oh, hell yeah, man.
I could see that. I could see that. That would work.
You know what, though? I could probably pull I was actually about to be an extra on the TV show Mindhunters that's on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Because I think they had like a casting call that was going on in Etna, and my buddy George and my friend Shelly, who is George's sister-in-law, and his wife Marcy, who's Shelly's sister. Well, we were all there, and you know they were taking our measurements and everything like that, our name and all that. And I think they ended up getting George, and I guess the one lady was talking to me like, "Hey, do you have any friends who are in need of a part? We have a bald character that we need as a security guard." So he called me up on my phone while I was living in my other apartment, and he's like, "Dude, they need a bald actor to play a security guard. Are you available?" I used all my PTO that whole year, and I was like, "Son of a freaking bitch, this sucks so much."
Oh.
That close, it would be
Yeah,
for 2 days.
yeah.
I should have said the hell with it and just take 2 unpaid days
You could
off.
have been famous right now, Phil.
I know. Oh,
You'd have had all the money.
That's a great show too. That's
I love it.
like
oh my
Well, that's like, you
God.
remember the what was it, Outsiders was filmed in
Yeah.
Millvale.
Mhm.
You know, the dude from like Opie from Sons of Anarchy was in it and that, which I like that show actually a lot.
Yeah.
Phil, you know CD, my buddy CD, he used to work
Yeah.
for Stairhouse too.
Mhm.
He actually called me up the day they were filming and asked me to come out. I didn't go out with him.
Yeah.
But he's actually, I don't know if you guys ever seen the show, but the one guy used to do the cage fighting. And in the one cage fighting scene, CD's 6'4", tattoos all over, like has it on his neck and everything. He looks kind of rough, you know. He actually was the one dragging him out of the cage, which
Oh,
is really cool because he like actually got screen time in it.
Yeah.
that's amazing. Oh, that's
That's cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's just fun though. Like even if like, because I heard like on being like an extra on a movie set, you're there like all day long.
Yep.
Like, you're just hanging out, and it's not as glamorous as you think it would be.
Well, they're
You
filming
know?
that Mayor of Kingstown or Kingston right now in Pittsburgh. And I know a lot of people that are extras in that too.
What is it again? Mayor of Kingstown.
I think that's what it's called. Kingstown, Kingston. Or
yeah, it's
something.
like Jeremy Renner's in it.
Oh, I like Jeremy
Yeah.
Renner.
Yeah, I know like a lot of the scenes I know at least 2 people off the top of my head that were filming, and it was in a prison.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you know Max, Phil? You ever met Max? My
I
buddy
don't
Max,
think I have.
older guy.
No. Mm-mm.
He actually like he's in a lot of the scenes. He sent me pictures and everything, and he got like the full beard and everything, and like he's an older guy, and
Yeah.
he looks like the little feisty little guy you wouldn't mess with in prison. You know?
There's always like some 5'2" dude who's like the one that would take out a whole army because they're so
Right.
freaking high strung. That's awesome though. That's so cool. Yeah, like because I know like we have a lot of friends, like our friend Christine, our friend Noah. We have a lot of like friends even that work at Scare House or all in all sorts of like horror films and all that.
We
shit
saw
too.
something Christine was on.
We saw.
Oh, you did?
In a
So
movie.
randomly
We were-
because I worked with a girl who was
Yeah.
what was it called? The Boonies. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she was in that. The girl I worked with is in that, and she was like, "You need to watch it." And I was like, "Okay." And then she came over, and we were seeing Mama, and we're like, "She looks so familiar."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Mancini's awesome.
Oh,
Yes.
she's
Oh
amazing.
my gosh.
She's amazing.
She does some of the ghost stuff with us too. She actually came
Does
to
she?
Crescent with us, and
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
she won our when we did a public down at what was it called? Dead Man's Hollow. She won our contest for that too, and we saw me and Jen went to go see Bigfoot too. It's playing at the Hollywood. She's in that, and
Okay.
there was another movie Jess was in too.
Oh, Midnight.
'Cause we went to that.
Massacre Academy.
Yeah, we went
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Mancini to that too.
That was fun. That was a good film. That was where
Which we
Jen-
had on the
just-
podcast before too.
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Massacre Academy has our buddies Lawrence Carl and Noah Welter. No, not Noah.
Which
I'm
Jess
sorry,
is in the
Jess
Boonies
Older.
too.
Oh, she is.
Jess, yeah, she's like the main blonde girl in the Boonies.
Oh shit.
Like I think Mama actually like drags her in the house or whatever. Like Mancini's character or
Oh,
whatever.
okay. Okay. Yep.
See, I want to do this stuff now. You know, it's like
It's just I don't have the time because
I know.
I'd love to do it too.
After October. After
Yes.
October,
Yes.
you can be
Yes.
in all
Yeah.
the movies you want to be in.
Which actually talking
After-
about that, last year I was a consultant for the Carver House, which is a horror movie that was filmed. And like it was a paranormal movie, so I was a paranormal consultant for the movie. And I actually used to rap too. I don't know if I told you guys that before, but I was supposed to be on their
He's good. He's
soundtrack
really good.
because
He's
like
good.
the guy I know, I used to rap with him. I'm supposed to be on their soundtrack. Like I'll come out of retirement and do one song. But anyway, like that's supposed to be coming out hopefully pretty soon. Like I said, it was filmed last year. It was actually filmed at Pickle Jar Antiques, which I don't know if you guys heard of that place.
No.
It's out in Rochester, PA. Well, we
Okay.
did an investigation there. It was freaking crazy. We had some
Oh.
really cool shit happen, but the place actually just burned down like a month ago, and it was like really
Oh.
bad, like completely burned down, which is
Oh.
nuts. But it used to be like a brothel. There used to be like there was what the hell's it called?
A speakeasy that
Yeah,
was there
Speakeasy
too.
was there. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a brothel called the Pickle Jar.
Well, it was Pickle Jar Antiques.
That's a
Then it
really
was
funny
something
name. I just
different.
didn't realize that.
I'm just saying.
The
We
most
got some like
appropriate
crazy
name.
shit. Like we were doing like some like Estes method, which is like we put the headphones on, you hear stuff in the radio, and you ask questions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we got some really relevant stuff. And like our one member Troy, who actually works for Scare House too, he got like real like he was crying, like it was that like they
Yeah.
were talking about raping people and like all it was nuts.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But it was
Thanks.
definitely there was a lady we had in the basement who actually Phil was there when it happened. I wasn't, but she actually
Oh,
got
it
pushed,
was-
and we have it on film. Like
It was
something.
scared the crap out of me too. It was that moment where like we should probably get out of here because it was just one of those reactionary statements, you know. But it was yeah. What happened was we were in the basement. It was Mikey, myself, and Georgia. I was filming Mikey asking questions in the spirit box. I was sitting down, and then all of a sudden I hear a loud bang, like right in front of me. Then I heard Michael yelling, "Holy shit!" And then she's on the ground, kind of like in a fetal position a little bit. I think her side hit this edge of a table. But the weird part was the one dude that actually worked there that was giving us the whole tour of like, all the parts so all the hot spots was behind her, but facing the other direction with his hands behind his back, kind of like looking.
Which I
you
think
know.
I think he's the one that actually started the fire because he was
Yeah.
living there in the
Right.
apartment there, and I heard it started in the apartment, which everybody made it out alive, which is good.
Yeah.
Good.
I think it was
Yeah,
the
it
same
was-
guy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a
Wow.
crazy, crazy situation. Holy hell. I mean, that was really the only intense thing that happened that night, too.
We did
Pretty
some
intense.
we did some
Oh, yeah.
table tipping too. You know what table tipping is?
No.
Like where you hold the table and you ask questions, and then the spirits are supposed to move the table and that. And we actually have that on film too, which I don't know if it translates well on film. Like we were doing it live.
Yeah.
And the whole rumor was there was a card game, somebody got shot over this card game. So me and Mikey like simulated a card game, and it was me, Mikey, and two of the people that worked there. And it looked, I mean, it felt like the table was moving. It looked like the table was moving. Like, I mean, Phil, you were a spectator. Like, you saw it.
Yeah, it looked very, yeah.
So we had some creepy shit happen here.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Wow.
It's probably one of my favorite places. Well, it was one of my favorite places to go to. Now I really can't say much anymore, sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically like, for like an antique store, like it looked like an episode of Hoarders, pretty much, you know.
Okay.
But
like, I wouldn't want to be caught near in a fire at all.
Not at all.
But
there's plenty of
barely
like,
walk through
passive
there.
Yeah. It wasn't like it was disorganized, but you still had plenty of room to walk around. It wasn't like you can't move. There's plenty of places that were very much open too, and I mean, some of the stuff you're like, who the hell's going to buy this piece of shit? You know,
I even with filming the movie or whatever, I got to actually kill a person or two or whatever too, because the one killer, the main killer, wasn't there the one day, so they shot it far, and like you see me kicking the door open, and there's a part where like I grab the guy behind the neck and pull him down the ground and like kill him, like choke him out on the ground. They showed me from behind. So hopefully that makes a movie. But there's another part actually too where me and the one guy, which you know from Scare House, the guy with one eye. Me and him are actually outside, and we're just two tough guys walking down the street. We bump into one of their main guys, or we're just like, watch the fuck where you're going or something. But that's another little scene I'm into. So.
Oh, Matt, you mean Matt Sibba, whatever the heck.
Yeah. He used to work for Haunted Hills Estates first. He used to be like on their porch. And then he worked for Scare House, or still does.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He looks the part.
He's creepy as hell. He's actually missing an eye.
Yeah,
he's super nice though. He's cool as hell.
Very friendly. He actually even told me like, you know, how he got the way he looks because I think years ago he was messing around with explosives.
Yeah.
For like a job or something, he blew himself up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which I met him at Carver House, and then he came to Scare House after the fact.
Oh yeah. Chill as dude. Chill guy. Real tall. He was like 6'6".
Which he knows Mancini too, I think, from working in movies.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I think that's his main job now is being an actor because he says like he fits like the role of like every villain you could possibly want. You know? Really cool guy.
Yeah, what works?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. See, if I tried to be a serial killer, I wouldn't be taken seriously at all. I don't know. I mean,
you said you got that Ted Bundy look, Phil. You could be the Ted Bundy.
I feel like you could tell
them to give you some balloons to play with. Pull that off.
I mean, I could probably pull like a freaking Kevin Spacey from Seven type of look. I mean,
you could do that.
Yeah.
You could absolutely do that.
Just be like the really calm, relaxed guy that you never think would actually do anything. And, you know, they're like, oh crap, this dude's weird now. This guy kind of, you know, because like, you know, it's like those types of characters that come in all different shapes and sizes, you know, like, you know, some of my favorite serial killers are obviously Jason Voorhees, but you know he wears a mask. He just looks creepy. Then you see some of the other ones that look like normal people, but you're like, wow, you know.
Something. Now I know you guys have probably seen this Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer.
I've been watching that Dahmer show though.
Michael. This is like
Michael Roker. Michael Roker was
yes. That's one of those movies where, you know, he sort of teeters on that line between kind of. It seems like a guy you just meet anywhere, and oh no, something deeply wrong.
Oh man, there's actually a movie. I don't know if any of you guys remember it, The Lovely Bones. It was with Stanley Tucci. Yes. He was freaky in that film. Holy hell.
Because he's not the type. Because you don't look at him and think, oh, this is a crazy serial killer.
Right. And probably one of my favorite Robin Williams movies, 1 Hour Photo. He wasn't actually a killer, but just his obsessive.
That was so weird and tense. Yes. I mean, I remember seeing that. I saw that in the theater, and I remember sitting there like every part of my body was clenched. My hair was clenched. I was like, what is he going to do? He
played that part so well.
The setting was a photo development lab. This is back when, you know, we actually took our photos to be developed. And he developed an obsession.
I remember seeing that advertised.
I miss Robin Williams.
Oh yeah, he was amazing because he could do anything. He could do comedy, drama. He could probably do horror if he wanted to. And yeah, it's and speaking of his character, I always like to joke around with my mom because like she loves taking photos of like all of us and her grandkids and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're not in like frames on my parents' living room wall. They're just on pieces of paper with like the generic like printer ink. I'm like, Mom, this looks like a 1 hour photo scene. It's just kind of weird.
This looks like a Criminal Minds scene.
It does. And some of like the edges of it are all like curled in. I'm like, really?
People walk into the house and they're like, what is this woman planning?
My dad just shakes his head. He's like, oh, God.
So that's where you get it from, Phil.
We're a bunch of interesting people. I'll just say that much, you know. Oh, my dad's just as crazy. I have a funny story to tell all of you. My dad years ago bought a little like Elmo doll, you know, one that moves and everything. I think he bought it for my dog or something like I can't remember, but my dad has a sick sense of humor. I think that's where I get it from. There's a big tree in my parents' backyard, and my dad decided to screw with the neighbors. He took a rope, wrapped it around the actual limb of the tree, and then like put it around the Elmo doll, and the Elmo doll started moving, saying, "I love you." And my dad took a photo of it, and his next door neighbor was just like, yeah, so
Explains a lot.
That's where I get that's my dad's hilarious. He's one of the funniest dudes you'd ever meet, but he's a fucking nutcase. I'm like, dude, you're gonna think you're like a predator.
He's trying to get it at the children. If you hang Elmos.
I wish I had the photo of it. I'd show you all.
Yes, please. That's great.
This is why I'm the way I am, because of that man.
So is there anything upcoming you guys want to promote?
Anything coming up? Well, like I said, this weekend is our big local
birthday
weekend.
weekends.
Please don't put a target on my back.
You know what she loves? Snakes.
No, she doesn't.
So if anyone want to surprise her with snakes for her birthday, that would be great.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
We're going to Castle Blood, Scary Harry's, West Alexander Scare at the Fair, and Wells Township.
And that's this weekend. And then what other local haunts are we hitting? Next weekend's Michigan.
Next weekend. And then after that is the
Ghoul Brothers. I think we're going.
Ghoul Brothers and Nightmare Cleveland. That's brand new. Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
And Maniac Mountain and
Trans-Allegheny.
Trans-Allegheny
is on my calendar this year, I hear.
Oh, man.
Is that it?
That's awesome.
And then
we have there's one more weekend.
There's one more weekend.
Oh, we wanted to go to the Crescent
Imaginarium Sanitarium.
Yes.
Yeah, we were going to do that.
Yeah.
Where else? We have a couple other places we're supposed to check out. Oh,
lists.
You have the lists
of places. Yeah.
We need more Octobers in the year, honestly. We need more
Yes.
because
we ran out of places.
Yes.
Where else are we?
I you know what? I don't know. I don't know.
And you know what's going to happen? We're going to
some
say
of them
this,
are far,
and we
so
will
we're
be
not sure.
barraged with the email saying that you said we were going to.
Yeah, I know. Thanks
We'll be
for
there.
mentioning us.
We'll be there.
Any social media stuff you want to promote?
Our TikTok.
Yeah.
We have,
so I
we're
just
so
make
cool.
videos.
We're on the TikTok now.
Oh, not you two.
We don't.
Stay away from it.
Oh my gosh! If I ever attempted to do anything on TikTok, my child would spontaneously combust. Her soul would leave her body. She would be done with this life on this plane because I'm just not cool enough.
Jen's daughters give her shit all the time.
But I love her stuff. Her stuff is great. But we do post.
Yeah, we've been posting videos. I try to get one of the actors outside. If the sound is cool there, I'll keep it, but sometimes I'll add sound depending on what they're doing. This last one outside of Crawford, there's an actor with ice cream and he's playing ice cream truck music as he's going around, and he like, do you want some ice cream? And then he puts it in your face and it like blows at you. And then he'll say, you know what goes good with ice cream? and he throws sprinkles at you. So we had
awesome.
sprinkles all over us, and I took a video of him
Fucking
like
sprinkles
walking
for a
around doing
day.
it, and
A day.
everybody loves it. You just never know
So
what's gonna
we're on TikTok. We're on Instagram.
Yep. Facebook.
Facebook is our primary platform right now for getting our reviews out. We try to get everything within a few days of when we visit, so that it gives people time to go check out the haunts. And we should.
Yeah, we
by
will
tomorrow we should
eventually
have all of this
get a
past
YouTube
videos.
up. We have one up with one video on it. I probably said that last year. It's still there. It's still the same video. It's an actress. We asked her questions in character, and that's our only video.
And one of these
we
days,
plan on it.
when it's not October, we'll get it together.
Yeah, we can't do it in October.
You guys got to come out on an actual ghost hunt with us.
Yeah.
Someday, too.
Oh yeah,
it'd be fun.
Absolutely.
we would
Yeah.
love that. Oh,
Yeah.
you
We're there.
know we are reactive. If anything happens, we're
Yes, love it.
What?
You see, Sean, I'm not the only one.
Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you
you.
for having
us.
Awesome.
Thank
We
you
loved it.
so
Did it in a
much.
good way.
Yes.
You gotta let me know about Wells and that
Love
too,
you
because
guys.
I want to go to Wells.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Yeah.
we'll keep you posted.
Yep.
We're excited for this weekend.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
sounds good. Have a good time and keep in touch.
Thanks.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
See
See
ya.
you guys later.
Guys.
Good seeing you.
You too.
Good to see you.
Thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can find us here, and here, and here. Don't forget, everybody needs a little bump in the night.